Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with Casey Lavin, Thomas Rudolph, Andrew Henderson, Dale Hummel, and Garrett Dworshak. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Game 2 of the three-game West Coast League Series between the six-time defending champion Corvallis Knights and their in-state rival in the South Division, the Portland Pickles. The Knights taking Game 1 last night. Part of the reason, another strong game from incoming freshman Levi Jones out of Jesuit High School. Played with some great ball players at Jesuit. Finished runner-up in the state this past year, losing to West Lynn in the championship game, but getting there thanks to Levi and many other great talents. Levi Jones homered last night. He was our player of the game and was interviewed by the crew after the game last night. It's my opportunity today before Game 2. Zach Johnson to deliver the first pitch. That's coming up in a few minutes. But up next, as things begin to change a little bit, we had the 96-degree day today, but it's going to drop about 10 degrees tomorrow, and the change is happening now as we speak. The breezes are up, unlike last night. A few clouds, just a little bit moving in, tempering things. The ballpark, a great place to be. Alerica Internet Corvallis Cap Night. Come on out and join us. A gorgeous night for baseball, and Levi Jones coming up on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, they're nice looking for the fifth straight win tonight as they take off Portland Pickles. And I'm glad I got get potted last night. That's from several days, so no run here come. Incoming freshman to Oregon State, Levi Jones, who homered last night. Levi, you're swinging the bat well. We'll get into some of your life experiences and how you ended up becoming a Beaver. But let's start with the immediate and the ball you jolted out of here last night. Good swing, good pitch. It looked like you got on it well. And it strikes me as it's sort of the bat. Your bat is really coming around. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an adjustment for me trying to learn how to adjust to the new pitching coming out of high school. But starting to feel good, starting to pick up some good tips. And these guys around me help a lot, so it's easy to adjust.
What is the toughest aspect of the adjustment?
I think the pitchers can go 6 for sure. You know, in high school, there were some pitchers you could definitely take advantage of, but here, you know, the pitchers are smarter. It's just learning what pitches to hit, what pitches to take, and just learning how to take my swing in good counts. So, you know, just trying to learn as much as I can and get ready for the future.
Levi Jones, my guest. Levi, I talked to you down in Springfield a couple of weeks ago about sort of position of choice, and you said, hey, wherever Mitch wants to play me, that's your plan. Is that right? Although third base, is that what you played primarily?
Yeah. In high school, I played a lot of third. Back in the day, I used to play a little bit of shortstop, but I'm trying to just do as much as I can to help anyone in the win column and on the score sheet. So, I'm comfortable most places. I just try and rely on athleticism and instinct, but I feel pretty good out there.
What's left field like to play here? I've been calling games a long time, and I see left fielders at certain times of night. It's not easy. How do you deal with the sun?
Yeah, no, it was definitely an adjustment for sure. I didn't play much left field before this at all, so it's definitely an added hurdle, but it makes me better because I gotta, trust my instinct off the bat and definitely block out the sun. Borrow a pair of sunglasses from time to time too, but yeah.
Levi, is there a technique though? I mean, I've seen Major League Baseball players at the highest level. If that ball's right in the sun, even the greatest of players will lose a ball occasionally and drop it. I've seen it with my own eyes. What is the technique that you're taught in how to try to deal with a tough sun field?
Honestly, for me, I try and block it out, try and keep my hat under kind of keep my hat in front of the sun so it doesn't get in there. But if the ball goes up in it, I think you kind of just put your glove in front of it and wait for the ball to come out of it. And so I think that's why, for me, what I've learned is the first jump off the bat right away, you kind of just got to get to where you think it's going to be, and then once you see it, you got to adjust from there. It's definitely something I'm trying to take day by day, though.
Levi, what's the experience been like being a Corvallis Knight, being in this organization? And I've seen Adley, Nick Madrigal, and other outstanding players come through here before getting to Oregon State. Was that something that, have you been enjoying that part of it?
Yeah, it's been unreal. When I was talking to the coaching staff about what my plan was for the summer last fall, and they asked kind of where I was thinking, my immediate answer was here just because of the lineage of Beavers. So, with the coaches and the players, it's definitely been fun, and playing in the stadiums, it's so fun. I love it so much.
We'll talk about the future and the opportunities to play here for you at Oregon State. But one last thing about the Knights and the culture and the coaches that you referred to. I've talked to enough players over these summers to get a feel that you develop here. You get better here. It's not just show up, go play a ball game. Do you feel that too, Levi? Is that happening for you?
Yeah, no, that's the main reason I also chose this, is because I know there's a culture of winning and they hold you accountable, and that's what I've always been used to, so I didn't really want that to change. But for sure, the coaches, we're out here every day early trying to get work in and just trying to learn, everyone here wants to get better, which is, I think, the reason they win so much is because it's a difference. It's not just show up and play, There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of positive mindsets and picking each other up, and that's something that I love surrounding myself with, so it's very easy to get better here.
Let's close with a little bit about your life and your upbringing. I don't know if you came from a family of Beavers, whether when Oregon State showed interest in you, that you became one. Tell me a little bit about your life growing up, who you rooted for, teams you liked. Did you come down here at all?
Yeah, so I actually grew up on the East Coast. I was born in New York. My parents had me in New York, and then I lived in New Hampshire in a small town with family for about 10 years. But when I was 11, I moved over here, and once I got to the Northwest, I started taking baseball a little more seriously. After I played hockey a lot too, so once I finally, made the transition to only baseball, it was a lot easier to focus on certain things and realize that I had a good bit, some God-given ability that I'm very thankful for. So trying to take best advantage of that. But once I started getting interest from Oregon State, it was very apparent to me that this is where I want to be. I had a few other schools, but I was pretty young. I was 15, so I committed here before I ever drove a car. But it wasn't one of those things that I felt like I was gonna want to change my mind in a few years. So I feel very confident about that decision, and I'm very excited to start here soon.
We're looking forward to seeing you here too, Levi. I didn't know the New Hampshire part of it. That's part of your story. I'm just now learning. As a kid in New Hampshire growing up, is that Red Sox country? Who did you like? The Bruins, the Red Sox, Boston teams, or what?
Yeah. My dad grew up in Concord, the capital, so where he used to grow up listening to Red Sox games, so I'm definitely a big Red Sox fan. I like a few other players and kind of follow them too, but the Red Sox and the Bruins, those are the teams I'm rooted in for sure.
You miss hockey?
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, it's different. Baseball's one of the most challenging sports, but hockey, it has a large team aspect just like baseball. Baseball is a little more individual. Obviously, you fail a lot more, but the hockey was it's a part of me, and it's something that I wish I could definitely go back to. And I do around Christmas time. I'll try and go out.
With the temperature dropping from 97 to 87 degrees over the last couple of hours, we welcome you back in to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field with stronger breezes blowing out to left center. It's a different kind of night than last night. As I mentioned, last night was near perfection. And earlier today, that blue, all in a blue of a rush with richness, blue and glorious, AQI in the teens. It's still low. It's a beautiful evening, but it's not quite as perfection. We've never seen it. I don't believe. Maybe there was an era and a time when we did. But last night was about as close as I've ever seen it in the ballpark. And it's a great night for baseball tonight. But tonight, not quite as still, perfect, glorious weather an evening ago. Very nice tonight as right-hander Zach Johnson loosens up with Tyler Howard. The Knights have taken the field and getting ready to face the following lineup from the Portland Pickles as announced by their manager, Mark Magdaleno. Leading off in center field, Kyler Stancato. Batting second in right field, Zage Lancaster. Dalton Mayshore, the designated hitter, batting third. Jesse Pierce, the cleanup hitter, in left field. Batting fifth at shortstop, Jack Mecho. Armando Briseño hitting sixth at second base. Evan Cloyd hitting seventh at first base. Blake Haraki hitting eighth and catching. Jackson Waller batting ninth at third base. And Ian Umlaut getting the start out of the University of Oregon for Portland as the Pickles try to square the series and create a rubber match for the finale tomorrow afternoon at 1:05. Zach Johnson ready to go to Kyler Stancato, the former Knight, and the first pitch to the left-hand hitter out of Cal State Bakersfield, a strike. The 0-1 pitch slashed foul above the dugout. He used to occupy, playing 53 games with the Knights 2 summers ago as the primary center fielder, and had a big year in helping the Knights win the 2021 West Coast League title. Kyler quickly down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Zage Lancaster on deck. Johnson's 1-2 pitch misses, and the count 1-2. Zach, 6 foot, 170-pound right-hander out of Utah Valley. Comes back to the plate with a 1-2 pitch. Stancato gets a piece, fouls it straight back. Kyler hitting a .181 as he stands in with 9 runs batted in. The 1-2 pitch, Zach misses for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach out of Lake Ridge High School. And after jumping ahead 2-2, falls all the way to 3-2 now to Stancato, who is trying to set the tone and get on base. The 3-2 pitch is ball 4. That's a nice plate appearance for Kyler Stancato, and certainly a disappointing result for Knight starter Zach Johnson to be ahead of the count 0-2 and issue ball 4. Not the start that Zach was hoping for, but he's had a very good summer. The Knights have great trust in what Zach Johnson can do. He's making his 5th start, 6th appearance, 18 innings, just 13 hits allowed, 7 walks, 13 strikeouts, a record of 2-0, and an earned run average of 2.50. Come on now. Come on now. The first pitch missing a little bit high to Zage Lancaster, and I mean a little bit high. The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled back, and the count 1-1. Billy Yeager, the home plate umpire, and you know he should know his way with the last name of Yeager, know his way behind the plate with one of the great defensive catchers in the 70s and 80s, a fellow by the name of Steve, a former Dodger and Mariner. The 1-1 pitch in there for a strike to Zage Lancaster, and the count 1-2. Kyler Stancato held on at first base by Ethan Hedges. As we get underway tonight, a warm, pleasant night, the second game of this 3-game series. Johnson's breaking ball just outside, and the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jordan Barkus is willing, coaching at third. Griffin Williams coaching at first. Mark Magdaleno calling the offense within the Pickles dugout on the first base side. Johnson's 2-2 pitch fouled straight back by Zage Lancaster. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Pickles starting the night at 20-11 overall. Lancaster hitting .218, a couple of homers, 17 runs batted in. Breeze is blowing out at about 10-12 to left center. Johnson throws to first to Ethan Hedges. Getting back is Kyler Stancato. The offense being called by Jordan Barkus at third tonight. I had been told that Mark Magdaleno calls it from within the dugout. There could be kind of a two-way chain of command. Another fastball foul back, and the count 2-2. One coach hot, the other not. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach Johnson and Tyler Howard, the Knights battery. Ethan Hedges at first, Tate Shamau at second, Phoenix Call at short, Tyler Quinn at third, Levi Jones in left, Ethan Hott in center, Sam Stem in right. The 2-2 pitch from Zach Johnson down and away, and the count goes full again, and the Pickles hitters to be credited with making Johnson work. Stancato went from 0-2 to ball 4. Zage Lancaster was 1-2. It's now 3-2. Stancato goes. The 3-2 pitch, a high pop-up. The third baseman, Tyler Quinn, lost it on the way up. Now he finds it, moving into foul territory to make the catch. Good adjustment by Tyler Quinn. And in that respect, Tyler, while he made the play, did not, unlike last night, provoke yours truly to invoke the great name of Brooks Robinson. On the diving stab that he made into foul territory, got up and threw to first for an out. It was Robinson-esque, to be sure. Dalton Mayshore, the batter. The first pitch to Dalton misses outside, ball one, 1-0. One out, a man aboard, no score. Top of the first inning. Brooke Knight and I were visiting with Tyler before the game down in the Knights dugout, and I ran the name of Brooks Robinson by Tyler Quinn. The 1-0 pitch popped foul off first. The wind will push this into the lower grandstand. It bounces over the Jack Riley concourse into the upper stands, and the count goes to 1-1 to Mayshore. It's one of those tests that I mentioned Mikey Kane, had never heard of Brooks Robinson. I said to Tyler Quinn, have you ever heard of Brooks Robinson? He looked at me, who? Brooks Robinson? No, he hadn't. Breaking ball swung on and fouled at the plate, and the count 1-2 to Dalton Mayshore with Kyler Stancato at first. Brooke Knight remembered. Certainly I do. He was the preeminent third baseman when I first started following the game in the mid-'60s all the way through the '70s. Brooks Robinson, the non-perennial at third in his era, and maybe the best of all time. There goes Stancato. The pitch is swung on and missed. Tyler Howard's throw glances off the glove of Shamau into shallow center, backed up by Phoenix Call. A strikeout of Dalton Mayshore, but Stancato, who swiped 22 bases for the Knights 2 summers ago, gets a steal of second base with 2 down. His 6th steal in 9 attempts this year. And Jesse Pierce with an RBI opportunity. No score in the top of the first. Zach Johnson asking his battery mate Tyler Howard to run through the sequence of signs again. The first pitch to Pierce, a breaking ball strike. 0-1 the count to Big Jesse. Jesse Pierce hitting .224, a couple of homers and 7 runs batted in. The strike one pitch to the kid from Vegas, swung on and fouled back. Stayed in his home state to play baseball at the University of Nevada. He's behind the count, no balls and 2 strikes, top of the first inning. Zach Johnson walking Kyler Stancato to open the game, has come back to get 2 outs. Stancato at second with 2 down. The right-hander Johnson kicks and comes. Breaking ball taken. Strike 3 called to retire the side. Nice job by Johnson to work his way around the leadoff walk. And at the end of half an inning with Stancato left at second, the Pickles nothing. The Knights coming up on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Ian Umlaut, 6', 215-pounder out of the University of Oregon. Southpaw loosening up, getting ready to face the following lineup as announced by Knights head coach Brooke Knight. Leading off, the designated hitter, Blake Avila. Batting second at third base, Tyler Jose Ramirez Quinn. Batting third at first base, Ethan Hedges. The cleanup hitter in right field, Sam Stem. Batting fifth at second base, Tate Shamau. Levi Jones hitting sixth and left. Ethan Hott batting seventh in center. Tyler Howard hitting eighth and catching. Phoenix Cole batting ninth at short. Umlaut's first pitch misses low, ball one. 1-0 to Blake Avila. Blake, the Knights' leading hitter. At .330, a couple of homers and 15 runs batted in. The left-hand hitter against the southpaw Umlaut comes back to the plate and delivers a strike, 1-1 the count. Billy Yeager back of the plate, Noah Hobart the base umpire. No score, bottom of the first inning. Umlaut and Blake Haraki, the battery for the Pickles. The 1-1 pitch to Avila. A little cue ball up along third. Coming off to field it is Umlaut, and a good play. He plants the foot, turns, and throws a strike to Evan Cloyd. One away, kind of a swinging bunt, slow dribbler to the left of the mound, and a nice job by Umlaut to make an accurate and quick read on the ball and gets Avila by plenty. Tyler Quinn, the batter. Tyler at .291, a homer, 18 runs batted in, has earned his way to a Division I opportunity, and not just D1, but a high D1 in the outstanding program at the University of Utah. Out of the stretch works Umlaut, and Ian comes to the plate, delivers a strike to Tyler, 0-1 the count. Tyler gave the blank look, as did Mikey Kane, on the mention of Brooks Robinson. Ben Crockett here had never heard of Brooks Robinson either. The strike one pitch is high. So I started to think, okay, and Ben's 35. I was trying to think when I was 35. I mean, I know we all kind of get raised differently. And, I did know who Pie Traynor was when I was 8. The 1-1 pitch on the way in the turf ball, too. Pretty good third baseman back in the day. So, Jim Ray Hart. Trying to think of some others. Mike Shannon. Okay, these are my people. These are my guys. I get it. But ask me to name third baseman around baseball today, I'd be hard-pressed. The 2-1 pitch to Quinn. A high drive to deep left. Back goes Jesse Pierce. So long. Tyler Mike Schmidt. Quinn hits one out, and the Knights lead it 1-0. Yeah, there is the bat, too. Schmidt hit 548 and was also a pretty slick fielding third baseman and a right-handed hitter. 548 of those. Tyler Quinn gets his second as a Knight, a home run over the 14-foot fence and left off Umlaut. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the first inning. Ethan Hedges takes ball one. Ethan, the right-hand hitting first baseman. The 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. Eddie Matthews, if you need him. 1-1 the count to Ethan. So, we all grow up in different eras and times, and the people that we see early make the everlasting impressions a la Brooksy. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball inside, ball 2, 2-1 to Ethan Hedges. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the first. So I asked our young crew in the McGrath family press box, the sweat box, over to our left. Bobby Merwin said it's 107 in there right now. It's nice to be where I am. The 2-1 pitch, a ground ball on one hop. Metro tries to knock it down, does, but can't come up with a handle afterwards, and Ethan Hedges is aboard on a solid shot to the left of Metro, who is a good fielding shortstop. But that ball had enough juice that Metro not able to field cleanly. And that'll be an error, a tough error to be sure, on Jack Metcho on a hard hit ball by Ethan Hedges, but Brooks Hatch, who knows of all the third basemen I've just invoked, is a very fair official scorer. Breaking ball strike to Sam Stem, 0-1 the count. Sam homered last night to assume the lead in that category for the Knights. 3 homers, 27 RBIs, tops in both categories, hitting .237. Sunshine coming through a bit more brightly, a throw to first, and diving back safely is Ethan Hedges. 1-0 Knights, starting to get a little more, as Brook Knight calls it, we'll get a little more thump, a little more thunder. The home run starting to come a bit more regularly. The Knights hit 2 last night, and the pitch on the way to Stem is hooked to right field, fairly deep, but playable here. Zage Lancaster makes the catch. And there are 2 down in the bottom of the first. Tate Shamau will be the batter. So I asked our crew, okay, give me some, who's the best defensive third baseman in baseball today? There was a very quick, Nolan Arenado. Now, I had read recently in an article in The Athletic that Arenado had slipped a bit, so I threw that out there. Off speed, swung on and missed by Shamau, 0-1 the count. That he's still very good, but that the elite, superb defensive numbers he was putting up through most of his career, those have diminished a bit. So I said, I asked who leads Major League Baseball in defensive run save. They went to work on it in the booth and came up with Jose Ramirez of the Guardians. A throw to first base to Cloyd. Cloyd throws to the shortstop, Metcho, and the Knights' Ethan Hedges caught stealing 1-3-6 to retire the side. Good move by Ian Umlaut. The Knights do get a run on the Tyler Quinn homer. And at the end of one, in Game 2, the Knights won and the Pickles nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Jack Metcho leads things off with the Pickles in the second and takes high from Zach Johnson. Zach comes back with a fastball strike, and the count 1-1. Jack Metcho, Armando Briseño, and Evan Cloyd for the Pickles in the second. Johnson's 1-1 pitch, high ball 2-1. Metcho having a strong summer, 349, 2 homers, 34 runs batted in, including his 34th last night. He swings at the 2-1 pitch and doesn't get it. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Metcho out of the University of the Pacific, Fairfield, California, hit .240 for the Tigers this past spring. He swings and hits one slowly foul, just off the end of his bat. Tyler Howard trying to pounce on it, hoping to get a quick, easy out, but the ball trickling foul in the right side batter's box. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jack Metcho. 1-0 Knights, top of the second. Johnson delivers, fastball just outside. Zach thought he'd painted the black and did kind of a knee bend after the fact. The count goes full to 3-2. Johnson walked Tyler Stancato to open the game. Now he's 3-2 to Mecho. Delivers, soft liner at night second baseman Tate Shamau, who makes the catch. One away, and Armando Briceño, the second baseman, will come to the plate. Briceño standing in from the right side of the batter's box. Swings, and it's a ground ball to the left of Call. From behind the bag, Phoenix slings it over to Ethan Hedges for out number 2. Nice play by Phoenix, and Evan Cloyd will be the hitter. Briceño starting the night, also having a very good summer at .303 with 21 runs batted in. Evan Cloyd at the plate out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Incoming right-handed hitter. His brother Ethan was a catcher at Cal. First pitch missing, down and away, ball 1. When asked about some of his memorable life experiences on the website, at least for Cal Poly San Luis Obispo baseball, I was pleased to read Evan counted amongst his life experiences of great enjoyment, quote, went hiking in the Portland area in 2022 and viewed waterfalls. The 2-0 pitch on the way, taken for a strike, and the count 2-1 to Evan. Now, my guess is that would be up the gorge, right? And the Multnomah Falls and all the other beautiful waterfalls in that area. The 2-1 pitch, swung on and popped foul back of the plate. This will carry, as balls rarely do, into the lower grandstand below the Jack Riley concourse, directly behind home plate. And the count is even now to Cloyd. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Johnson delivers, breaking ball grounded back of third. A diving try by Tyler Quinn. Not able to get to this one. The ball glances off his glove and down towards the entrance of the Jacoby Ellsbury clubhouse. Levi Jones retrieves and gets the ball back in. A double for Evan Cloyd. Good swing. Nice try by Quinn, but even had he fielded the ball cleanly, would have had no shot to make a play on Cloyd. The ball not hit hard enough, but Tyler Quinn was playing well off the line and had too far to his right to go. So Blake Haraki, the batter, a chance to get the Pickles even with a 2-out hit. Haraki out of Iolani High School and competes for the University of Hawaii. Out of the stretch works Johnson, delivers, and Haraki swings a little late at the fastball, doesn't get it. 0-1 the count. 1-0 Knights, top of the second inning. Tyler Quinn blasting a home run over the left field fence in the bottom of the first. Cloyd getting his lead from second. The strike one pitch just missed, and I can see Brooke Knight is inquiring, yeah, it missed, but where? Billy Yeager called that a ball, and that's a tough pitch to not get a strike on. The count is 1-1. Out of the stretch, the 1-1 pitch, swung on and lifted down the right field line. A very long run for Sam. Stemmy gets there and makes the catch. Nice play by Sam. Using his wheels, his good athletic ability to run that one down. And down go the Pickles in the second, 2 innings in a row. Portland has left a runner at second base. And after 1.5, the Knights won and Portland nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Tate Shamau will lead things off for the Knights in the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Corvallis. Tate Shamau, Levi Jones, and Ethan Hott against left-hander Ian Umlaut. Ian from the stretch to the plate. Swung on and missed by Shamau. 0-1 the count. Tate was at the plate when Ethan Hedges was picked off to end the first inning. From the stretch with nobody on, Umlaut delivers down and in. Shamau has gotten to the Mendoza line, swinging the bat well of late at 200 after a 2-for-25 start. Tate with a homer and 8 runs batted in. The 1-1 pitch swung on and lifted into shallow left center field. Coming in a hurry is Stancato. He's not able to get it. Taking a turn on his way for 2 is Shamau. The throw to second, not in time. Tate Shamau with a leadoff double. Blooping it in front of Stancato. Kyler went all out. He didn't lay out, but he ran hard, and once the ball bounced off the field turf and skipped beyond Kyler, left fielder Jesse Pierce backed up, but a good read on the part of Shamau to see that there was no chance for Pierce to get to the ball in time to get to Tate at second. So Shamau, a bloop double to open the bottom of the second inning. Levi Jones, our pregame show guest, the batter, hitting .245, hit his first homer as a Knight last night. 7 runs batted in, looking for an 8th. Umlaut delivers a rivalry game encounter here. Umlaut out of Oregon, Levi coming into Oregon State. Breaking ball misses, ball 1. 1-0. From the stretch, Umlaut looks back at Tate Shamau. Bird dogged a bit by Jack Mecho. The pitch to Levi. Swung on and missed in the count 1-1. Brooke Knight was sharing with me, his opinion that Levi, who's started to swing the bat with more consistency, hitting the ball hard, he said that's because Levi's become a little less pull conscious, that he's using the whole field. He homered to right center last night. The left-hand hitter Jones awaits. Shamau at second. And time is called. Levi Jones tired of waiting on Umlaut. A rare happening these days in the game of baseball. The pitch clock is in effect. Jones has the opportunity to request time. One time in the sequence. The 1-1 pitch on the way to Levi. Swung on and missed in the count 1-2. Now, with 2 strikes, the approach can be adjusted, or should be a little bit, in that with Shamau at second and nobody out, Levi's job is to get Tate moved. 1-0 Knights, bottom of the second inning. Umlaut out of the stretch, glances back at Shamau, and now will turn and throw to second base to Jack Mecho. Shamau back easily. 1-2 to Levi, trying to add to the Knights' lead in the second. The Knights have won 4 straight after stumbling in Longview to open the second half. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball from Umlaut, misses down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Umlaut getting the start tonight in game 2. He in touch for a home run last inning. A bloop double here in the second. Levi swings and pokes one to shallow center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Kyler Stancato gets the ball back in. The ball glances off the first baseman, Evan Cloyd, backed up by Ian Umlaut. Runners at the corners and nobody out for Ethan Hott. So a nice job by Levi. Speaking to Brooks' point, a 2-strike approach. With a runner at second and nobody out, the job is to put the ball in play and get the runner moved. Well, Levi, using the whole field, dunks one in front of Stancato. Didn't hit the ball particularly well. The Knights have runners at the corners, nobody out, and haven't hit a ball hard yet in this inning. Here's Ethan Hott. trying to get the Knights up 2-0. Swings and fouls the first pitch at the plate. 0-1 to the Knights center fielder this evening. Beaver, sorry about that. Knights baseball presented by Oregon State Credit Union. They were the proud title sponsor of the Corvallis Knights July 2nd fireworks night. 3,300 plus in attendance. First and third, nobody out. A throw to first and back to the bag steps Levi Jones. You can join the credit union and become entitled to all the membership privileges and the great financial services of Oregon State Credit Union. Join online or at one of their 15 branches. The strike one pitch, a ground ball slowly to Briseño, goes to Mecho for one, on to first for a double play, but we may have not sure what Billy Yeager's calling. The runner scored. Tate Shamau scored from third. He's being sent back to third. And apparently a double play is being called. The interference that Billy Yeager called precludes. Now, what just happened was the Pickles turned a double play on which Tate Shamau scored. So that run should count. The two outs should be in the books. Billy Yeager is overruling the double play. I mean, the double play stands, but he's making Tate Shamau go back to third. And I'm not sure if that ends up standing that I would have ever seen that call before. Essentially a routine double play ball on which the Pickles are going 4-6-3 and Tate Shamau's coming to the plate. Billy Yeager, I think, is now, Billy's going to talk to his partner, Noah Hobart. Shamau is going to be sent back to third, and the argument being, I think what's being called, not sure why Yeager made the call and who he was, even what he called in the first place, unless he's calling interference on Levi Jones on the slide at second. And if that happens, if Jones's slide at second is construed as being an illegal slide out of the baseline too aggressively, too late into the pivot man, in this case the shortstop, Jack Mecho, then that would render it a dead ball at that point, and that's why Shamau would have to go back to third. Billy Yeager and Noah Hobart are coming over to talk to Mark Magdaleno, and that can't be good news for Mark because that probably means a change is coming and that the run scores. The double play is in the books. 4-6-3, but if Magdaleno's being talked to, it tells me that they're explaining, hey, we got it wrong, I got it wrong. The outs are in the books, but the run counts, which is what strikes me as just sort of the rational outcome of this odd play. And between innings, I will confer with Brooks Hatch within the McGrath family press box, the official scorer, to get a sense of how he's read this strange call on the field, which initially had the double play called and Shamau, who had scored, being sent back to third base. My guess is Levi Jones was called out for interference on the slide at second into Jack Mecho, who was coming across the bag on the pivot, receiving the ball from Armando Briseño. And we are getting a lengthy explanation. And the run counts, so it is 2-0 Knights on the double play, 4-6-3 off the bat of Ethan Hott. No RBI for Ethan. Shamau scores 2-0, and Tyler Howard the batter. But Brook Knight, in discussing the call by Billy Yeager, convinced Billy to visit with his partner Noah Hobart. Then Yeager and Hobart went 2-on-1 against Magdaleno and explained that they had changed the call, and instead of sending Shamau back to third, Tate able to settle into the dugout. The run counts, 2-0 Knights. Tyler Howard takes high and away as we play on. on what is becoming a partly cloudy, still very warm evening here, but not quite the same as an evening ago. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike to Tyler Howard. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the second, 2-0 Corvallis. Umlaut back to the plate. Howard takes a strike and the count 1-2. Tyler getting the start tonight and doing a nice job defensively as well as the opportunities he's had to hit. Umlaut delivers. The 1-2 pitch is in the turf. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Tyler at 260 with 4 runs batted in. Phoenix call on deck. 2-0 Knights, bottom of the second inning. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball, high and away from Umlaut. Ball 3, 3-2. The Knights with a couple of bloop hits in the inning and have gotten a run, Singleton in each of the first 2 innings. 3-2 to Tyler Howard. Umlaut to the plate. And Tyler gets a piece of it, fouling it back to stay alive. 3 balls and 2 strikes. When you visit Corvallis to catch Knights baseball, be sure to stay at your locally owned Best Western Corvallis, the official hotel partner of your Corvallis Knights. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. The 3-2 pitch, Tyler pokes one foul into the lower grandstand behind the Pickles dugout. The count remains 3-2. And Best Western, by the way, the largest hotel rooms in the city and an outdoor heated pool. The city's glorious river today, multitudes on the Willamette in the mid-90s. Our neighborhood in South Corvallis strewn with vehicles everywhere, parking, tubes being blown up, paddle boards, and people enjoying one of our great resources. The Willamette, such a wonderful tradition in the summer. The 3-2 pitch missing to Tyler Howard. Good plate appearance for the Knights catcher. He draws ball 4. Phoenix call the batter. Now, Levi Jones was telling me, and I'm not sure if Levi's folks, Adam and Mary Catherine, who I had the pleasure of meeting recently, are in the ballpark tonight. I assume they are, but Levi told me that his folks were on the river today down here, going out with the host family, the Mars. So I hope that they, too, were enjoying a trip on the Willamette today, as were it seemingly thousands. The pitch to Phoenix swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. 2-0 Knights. Howard at first, 2 down. Umlaut to the plate. Phoenix fouls it into the netting. And the count to call, no balls and 2 strikes. That is one of the rights of summer, certainly for all of us who enjoy the river, but usually for, and through the years, the Corvallis Knights players and incoming freshmen, part of the bridge program, the student athletes over the summers, I know, have kind of queued up down near our place, used our tubes and floated. A throw to first base. Tyler Howard gets back. Good dig by Evan Cloyd. No balls and 2 strikes, and yet I still occasionally run into people. And last week, a couple of weeks ago, my last river float, a couple of folks who grew up in this town, and 2 weeks ago, they're in their 20s, and it was the first time they'd ever been on the river, and I was astonished. The strike 2 pitch hit off the end of the bat slowly to Brasenio. Armando takes it off the turf, flips to Evan Cloyd. Phoenix call retired, and the Knights are gone in the second. They do get a run on 2 hits, no errors and 1 left. After 2, the Knights 2 and the Pickles nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. The first pitch of the top of the third inning, a check swing by Jackson Waller. He's jammed and hits a little number back towards Zach Johnson. Jack fields and tosses to first to get Waller. One pitch, one gone. Top of the third, 2-0 Knights. Kyler Stancato, the batter. Kyler drew a walk and stole second, was left stranded at second in the first inning. The first pitch to Kyler misses high, ball one. 1-0. Lil King was honored here today. His 400th Corvallis Knights game. What a great job Lil King has done through the summers here, and got a nice ovation from this good crowd on hand tonight for Lyrica Internet Corvallis Knights Cap Night. Stylish caps, black caps with the white C and the Knights logo on it. And I see many fans wearing them here tonight. Stancato takes the 1-1 pitch, a bit up and away. 2 balls and a strike to Kyler. Zage Lancaster on deck. Zach Johnson rocks, kicks, and comes to the plate. Kyler lifts one foul down the left field line and just below the TNT Builders party deck in left. 2-2 the count. I saw Kyler briefly after the game last night and inquired of his folks. He said, nope, they're down in Arizona, not making this trip. The 2-2 pitch missing high, ball 3-2. That's where Kyler finished up in high school, although he began Pacific Northwest kid, Curtis High in Tacoma. The 3-2 pitch is a line drive caught on a little leap by shortstop Phoenix Call. 2 away. Not a smoked line drive. Didn't hit the ball hard, not nearly as hard as McCovey did to Bobby Richardson Game 7 off Ralph Terry in '62. Richardson didn't have to move much. Phoenix didn't have to move much here either. 2 down, Zage Lancaster, the batter. Lancaster fouled out to Tyler Quinn in the first. Line drive base hit to right field here for Lancaster. Sam Stem plays it on a hop. Nice swing for Zage. A 2-out single, and Dalton Mayshore, the batter. The Pickles have left a man in scoring position in each of the first 2 innings. And now Lancaster aboard with the 2-out single starting the night at 2:18. Couple of homers, 17 runs batted in, and he is 6 for 7 in stolen bases. Mayshore struck out in the first. 2-0 Knights, top of the third inning, game 2 of 3. The Knights and Pickles tomorrow at 1:05. Breaking ball strike from Zach Johnson. 0-1 the count. The Knights continue the homestand. This last night was the first of a 7-gamer. Breaking ball in there again, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. The Knights with a non-league game on Monday, and then Kelowna making the long trip in next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 3, and Zach Johnson has struck out Dalton Mayshore for a second time. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left at the end of 2.5. The Knights 2 and the Pickles nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the third inning. 1-0 Knights, scoring runs in each of the first 2 innings. The top of the order up for Corvallis against left-hander Ian Umlaut. Blake Avila, Tyler Quinn, and Ethan Hedges, the scheduled hitters. Umlaut delivers low and away. Blake hit back to the box in the first inning. 1 ball and no strikes to the Knights' leading hitter in the summer of 23. Takes a breaking ball strike and the count 1-1. Brooke Knight in his usual spot, coaching at third. Ed Nags coaching at first. The 1-1 pitch on the way to Blake, hit foul to the left and out of play. 1-2 the count.
For replacement glass or new windows in your home, call Smith Glass. Smith Glass in Corvallis and Albany, on the cutting edge since 1945.
Good crowd on hand tonight. I don't think it's quite as big as last night's, but we'll be in that 1,500 to 1,600 range, it appears, again. The 1-2 breaking ball swung on and missed. Good pitch by Umlaut. Strike 3, 1 away. Tyler Quinn, who homered over the 14-foot fence in left field in the first inning, will come to the plate. That's the first strikeout for Ian Umlaut. Tyler, right-handed hitter. Got on a pitch and drove it impressively. Out of the stretch works Ian with nobody on. Umlaut to the plate. Quinn shows bunt and takes in the turf. Ball 1, 1-0. You know, I'm not bothered at all, nor even exercised, not even perplexed. Just a little curious about, knowledge of, the 1-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 1-1. 2 very good third basemen and baseball players that I've come across this season. Mikey Kane for Oregon State, Tyler Quinn for the Knights. Run the name of Brooks Robinson by both, and neither had heard of him. The 1-1 pitch swung on and drilled to the alley into left center field. So, yeah, Brooksy could hit doubles, but this is more Mike Schmidt territory, and Quinn's thinking about 3. He's around second, on his way to third. The relay from Metro, not in time. A triple for Tyler Quinn. Tell you what, the last 2 times he's been up, we've been invoking third base greats. That may have a little pie trainer action there. Drilling one into the alley in left center field after going Schmidt in his first at-bat over the fence. Not too many third basemen in the game's history, I dare say, have hit for the cycle, and Tyler Quinn is halfway there with the 2 hardest ones, in a sense, out of the way. The homer and the triple, and now the batter, Ethan Hedges. The first pitch to Ethan, lifted into the air to shallow left center field. It could be deep enough. Stancato the catch. Quinn is tagging. Tyler on his way to the plate. The throw on a hop is not in time. Tyler scores on the sacrifice fly by Ethan Hedges. The Knights lead it 3-0. Nice job by Ethan. Got just enough of it to get the ball deep enough. Stancato, a good throw, a one-hopper to Blake Hiraki. But Quinn, with the athletic ability, able to motor to third on a hit to the gap and scores using all of his speed coming down the line from third on the sacrifice fly. 3-0 Knights. Sam Stem swings and rolls one foul in front of the Pickles dugout. No balls and 1 strike. So just trying to come to grips with what level of interest and knowledge, just using Quinn and Kane, 2 examples. There could be dozens and dozens of collegiate players, high school age players, West Coast League players. I'd run the name Brooks Robinson. Oh, yeah, Brooks Robinson, Orioles legend, Hall of Famer. The pitch to Stem, hooked foul down the right field line, and the count 0-2. Or perhaps not. I do wonder if, with all of the tools available to study the present game, with all of the videos and the hyper analysis that's currently available, the analytics and the numbers and the videos, et cetera, whether or not the ball players coming up today go as deep on the history as we did when we were first discovering the game through baseball cards and juvenile literature, Baseball Stars of 1971, a book I still read once in a while. Stem takes low and away in the count 1-2. Breaking ball from Umlaut misses away, ball 2, 2-2. So I don't know. Those of you that grew up perhaps in a similar era, close enough to mine to know of which I speak, gaining knowledge from baseball cards, the preseason baseball magazines, the Street and Smith annual with targets, and see all the people that had the home runs through their history. Off speed, fouled at the plate in the count 2-2, we would get Street and Smith targets and look at how many wins Don Sutton had, for example, and who is he closing in on? How about shutouts? Well, Sutton needs 6 more to get to 60. He's closing in on Walter Johnson. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Not quite. I think Walter had 113. The 2-2 pitch. Stem, a ground ball back at first. Knocked down by Cloyd. Evans stays with it. Feeds it to Umlaut at first, just in time to retire the side. Nicely done by Cloyd and Umlaut, with Evans staying with it to get the putout. But I'd be curious to know what the habits are and how the game is assimilated and learned. I have a feeling modern-day players know much more than about the modern-day guys than I knew about maybe my modern-day guys back in the day with all of the tools now available. But that's a conversation for another time. The Knights have picked up another run on a hit. No errors, nobody left. Through 3, the Knights 3, and the Pickles nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. A good start for right-hander Zach Johnson as we go to the 4th inning. Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 3 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. The Pickles, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. Jesse Pierce swings, and it's a ground ball to Tate Shamau, the Knights' second baseman. Tate fields cleanly and throws to Ethan Hedges for the out. 3-0 Knights in the 4th. Jack Metcho, the batter. Jack takes a strike. The count 0-1. Metcho popped out to Tate Shamau in his first at-bat. Strike 1 breaking ball misses in the count 1-1. We had a few clouds kind of come over our head, really tempering the warm sun that we've had today. The 1-1 pitch to Metcho swung on and missed in the count 1-2, but the sun has emerged brilliantly again, and Zach Johnson still working in the sunlight, now into the shadows, delivers a fastball. Tough conditions, swung on and missed, strike 3. 2 down. And Zach looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. here in the fourth, with the Knights leading 3-0. Armando Briseño, who grounded to short in his first at-bat, coming to the plate. Two outs, nobody on. Very tough Sunfield in left. First pitch from Johnson over the head of Briseño to the backstop. 1-0 the count. Johnson and Tyler Howard the battery for the Knights. Ethan Hedges at first, Tate Shamau at second, Phoenix Call at short, Tyler Quinn at third. Levi Jones shielding that sun with his bare hand out in left field. Ethan Hott has his glove up in center. The 1-0 pitch, a check swing, says Noah Hobart, and the count to Briseño, 1-1. Sam Stem, the more placid conditions out in right. The 1-1 pitch lifted foul to the right and well out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Briseño. 2 down, nobody on in the fourth. 3-0 Corvallis. Eli arrives walking through the Jack Riley Concourse today. When we got out of the river earlier, Eli was just getting on it. So he's out and back at the ballpark. The 1-2 pitch, a fly ball to center. Ethan Hott finds it, makes the catch, and it is indeed a 1-2-3 frame for Zach Johnson. After 3.5, the Knights 3 and the Pickles nothing on the Knights live stream in 1240. Joe Radio. Three to nothing Knights as we move to the bottom of the fourth inning. The Knights have scored a single run in each of the first 3. Tate Shamau doubled and scored in the second. He'll lead things off against left-hander Ian Umlaut of the Portland Pickles. Tate will be followed by Levi Jones and then Ethan Hott. First pitch, check swing down in the turf, ball 1. Umlaut and Blake Haraki, the battery for the Pickles. Evan Cloyd at first, Armando Briseño at second, Jack Mecho at short, Jackson Waller at third with Jesse Pearson left, Kyler Stancato in center, Zage Lancaster in right. Shamau swings and doesn't get it. 1-1 the count. Tate's double the blooper in front of Kyler Stancato in the second inning to lead things off. He leads things off here in the fourth. 1-1 the count. Umlaut kicks and comes to the plate. Swung on and fouled at the plate. 1-2 to Tate Shamau. The series finale tomorrow at 1:05, Linfield University Day. Linfield will be sharing its information with the prospective students, sharing their message. It's a great institution. Dan Spencer, the head baseball coach there. The 1-2 pitch missing high. Dan, the former Oregon State pitching coach. 3 trips to Omaha and 2 national championships with Pat Casey in that role. The 2-2 pitch missing low. Dan may be here tomorrow. I hope so. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Tate Shamau. Levi Jones on deck. 3-0 Knights, bottom of the fourth inning. Umlaut comes back to the plate. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. The second strikeout for Ian. Levi Jones, the batter. Levi blooped a single into center field in the second. Learned a few things in the conversation with Levi before the game. Knew that he had excelled at Jesuit High School, but did not know that he was born on the East Coast. Grew up in New Hampshire. He swings and drives one to the alley in right center field. Stancato going back. The ball will carry over his head on a bounce to the top of the wall. Jones gets to second and hesitates and will stay there. The throw comes back in over the third baseman Waller's head, backed up by Umlaut. Levi, I think, sold himself a little bit short there. I think with a better turn at second and just a better sense of where the ball was, might have had a chance to go 3 a la Tyler Quinn last inning. But he pulls up at second and kind of seemed to be slowing down when he got to second rather than, whether he didn't pick up Brook over at third or not, kind of settled for a double instead of at least challenging the Pickles to make a play. And I think he had a good chance to go to third with his excellent athletic ability. Skills homed as a defenseman in his beloved sport of hockey, he said. The pitch to Ethan Hott hit foul. Levi, very athletic, wiry player. I think is going to find a place and an important role in the years to come right here in this ballpark in the Oregon State program. 2 for 2 tonight. Ethan Hott fouling the first pitch away. No balls and a strike to Ethan. The 0-1 pitch on the way with a Pac-12 triangle right here at the moment. Umlaut on the mound. Ethan Hott from Stanford, the batter. Levi Jones at second from Oregon State. Shortstop Jack Mecho calling time. And it's Mecho who is kind of calling this meeting. The home plate umpire, Noah Hobart, is listening in. And I don't know if Jack may have espied something that he thought might have been perhaps bothering Umlaut physically. But Mecho, along with his Keystone partner Armando Briseño, joining the conversation with catcher Blake Haraki and Umlaut, with the umpire there too. So I'm not sure what that was all about, but we play on. With a count of 1 ball and 1 strike to Ethan Hott, Levi Jones at second, 1 out, 3-0 Knights in the fourth. And now a bluff to second base by Umlaut, Armando Briseño. Coming over to the bag to cover, but no throw. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ethan, who grounded into that odd double play in the second, on which Tate Shamau scored. The pitch to Ethan taken for a strike, and the count 1-2. Shamau scored. Interference evidently was originally called by Billy Yeager. And I think Billy must have been, Brooks Hatch thought that Billy must have been talked out of it because interference, had it been called, and Brooks' understanding was that Shamau would have had to go back to third. A throw to second, back to the bag gets Levi Jones. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Yeager's initial call, interference on the slide by Jones. Either he picked up the flag, waved it off, whatever the case, it just turned out to be a conventional 4-6-3 double play on which Shamau came down the line to score. The 1-2 pitch to Hott ruled foul past Brook Knight. The count remains 1-2. That seemed to be the sort of the common sense outcome of that particular play. The shortstop, Jack Mecho, came across the bag easily, so even the whole idea of interference in the first place seemed a bit out of place. Mecho was showing no look or design or intention to try to get Shamau coming down the line from third. So in the end, it felt like the right call was made. The 1-2 pitch in the turf, nicely blocked by Blake Haraki. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ethan Hott. It was a good play on that 4-6-3 double play. Briseño to Mecho to Cloyd, and that Hott did not hit the ball hard. Yet they got that double play turned efficiently. 2-2 the count. The pitch to Ethan. He's jammed, and it's a grounder to the third baseman, Jackson Waller. Waller holds Jones at second and throws across to first baseman Evan Cloyd for out number 2, and Tyler Howard will come to the plate. Head coach Mark Magdaleno, technically listed as the manager of the Pickles, comes out to the mound. He hasn't made a signal to the bullpen, but the guy from the pen is anxious to get in. He's opened the gate, having yet been summoned by Magdaleno. Knows that he's coming in. The communication has gone down the line, and we'll see a change of pitchers here for the Portland Pickles in the bottom of the fourth. The Knights have scored a single run in each of the first 3 innings. They have a chance to get another one here in the fourth. Tyler Howard will face a new pitcher when we return. We will take a 90-second pitching change break at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights 3, Portland nothing back in 90 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Right-hander Carter Delaney, the new pitcher for Portland here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Carter misses to Tyler Howard, ball 1. Tyler drew a walk in the second inning. 3-0 Knights, bottom of the fourth. Delaney, a right-hander, comes set. Big leg kick and delivers the fastball. High and inside, ball 2. 2-0. Delaney, a right-hander out of UC Davis, who went to Oak Ridge High School in El Dorado Hills in California. Transfer to UC Davis from Folsom Lake College. The 2-0 pitch, good fastball for a strike. The count 2-1. Delaney taking over for starter Ian Umlaut. Here in the bottom of the fourth, with Levi Jones at second, 2 down. Delaney's had a good summer. This is his 6th appearance. Delivers a strike to Tyler to even the count at 2-2. 5 1/3 innings. No hits, no runs, 5 walks, 8 strikeouts. So an ERA of 0. Levi Jones, the runner at second, 2 down, belongs to Ian Umlaut. A throw to second base to Armando Briseño and Levi back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tyler Howard. Phoenix call on deck. Carter to the plate. Line drive right at Armando Briseño, the second baseman. And the Knights, after scoring singletons in each of the first 3, leave a man in scoring position in the 4th. After 4, the Knights 3 and Portland nothing on the Knights live stream in 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 5th inning, Evan Cloyd leading things off against Zach Johnson. And the first pitch to the first baseman for the Portland Pickles is in there for a strike. Johnson's 0-1 off-speed pitch. Big swing and a miss by Cloyd. 0-2 the count. Evan doubled to second in the second. 3-0 Knights, top of the 5th inning. Some activity will begin in the Knights bullpen in a moment. Johnson strike 2, fastball away, ball 1. 1-2. Evan Cloyd, Blake Haraki, and Jackson Waller in the 5th inning. Johnson's gone all the way, delivers outside, ball 2, 2-2. Good crowd on hand for this Alerica Internet cap giveaway night. Cloyd waits the 2-2 pitch from Zach Johnson, who rocks, kicks, and delivers, and the breaking ball is swung on and missed. Strike 3. The 4th strikeout for Zach Johnson. He's retired 5 straight. And Blake Haraki will be the hitter. Blake flied to right field in his first at-bat. The pitch on the way, misses down and away, ball 1, 1-0. Johnson's 1-0 pitch, good fastball. Swung on and missed. One ball and 1 strike the count, 1 out, nobody on. 3-0 Knights in the 5th in game 2. The pitch missing low and the count 2 balls and a strike. The right-hander ready, and Johnson's 2-1 pitch popped up in foul territory on the right side. This ball lands just below the Jack Riley concourse. And the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Between innings, a young man to my left I had never met before, and Casey Wee, Sean's papa, said, "Mike, I'd like to introduce you to somebody." none other than John Jaha himself. His son Jackson plays for the Portland Pickles. John in the ballpark tonight. Good breaking ball taken, strike three called by Blake Haraki. Good pitch from Zach Johnson, 2 down. Jackson Waller will come to the plate. 6 straight retired by Zach Johnson. Waller checking his swing on the first pitch that he saw in the third. John Jaha, the papa here, his son not in the lineup tonight, playing at the University of Oregon, so John is sporting, I must needs report, an Oregon Duck baseball shirt. And I understand the support for his flesh and blood. The strike one pitch is in there, strike two. John signed out of high school from David Douglas, drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers. Fastball foul back. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Top of the 5th inning, 3-0. The Knights in front. Great to see one of the fearsome sluggers in a nice stretch with the Milwaukee Brewers. Zach Johnson getting better as he goes along, delivers a breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 3. He strikes out the side, does Zach, and he's fan 4 of the last 5 batters, moving closer to being our player of the game, and look forward to a visit with Zach for the first time on our pregame show tomorrow afternoon. Great job as Johnson retires the Pickles in order. After 4.5, the Knights 3, Portland nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Phoenix call to lead things off for the Knights in the bottom of the 5th inning against right-hander Carter Delaney. 3-0 Corvallis. In the first pitch to Phoenix, bloop down the right field line. Zage Lancaster on the move, makes the catch. 1 away, Phoenix 0 for 2. And Blake Avila to the plate. Blake has hit back to the box and struck out. Pape Material Handling keeps you moving one step closer to home again this season. They've teamed up in support of Community Outreach, Inc., a local nonprofit dedicated to helping people lead healthy and productive lives. To learn more about the One Step Closer to Home initiative, please visit corvallisnights.com/COI, and our thanks to Pape Material Handling. The first pitch to Blake Avila is taken for a strike. 0-1 the count. Carter Delaney comes set at the belt. Fastball on the knee, at the knees, inner half. Strike 2. 0-2 to Avila. Tyler Quinn halfway to the cycle with a homer and a triple on deck. No balls and 2 strikes to Blake. Delaney delivers off speed and away. 1-2 the count. it would be extremely exciting if Quinn gets one of the other kinds of hits in his next at-bat, a single, and give him a shot at something I've never seen a Knights player hit for, namely the cycle. The 1-2 fastball away, ball 2, 2-2. At least I don't recall having seen a Knight hit for the cycle. Players that come to mind that would be capable would be Travis Bazzana or a Nick Madrigal. The 2-2 pitch on the way, taken, strike 3 called. Blake Avila didn't think so, but down he goes. He's fanned twice. 2 away, and here comes Tyler Quinn. Homered in the first, tripled in the third. We're in the bottom of the 5th. 3-0 Corvallis. So we'll see. If Tyler gets one of the two, either a single or a double, it makes for a very interesting theater over the course of the game if he gets another couple of at-bats. So this is the big one to give him a good look at a chance for a cycle. He swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. 0-1 the count. 3-0 Knights, bottom of the 5th, 2 outs, nobody on. Carter Delaney trying to retire the Knights in order. His predecessor, Umlaut, not able to do that. Quinn takes down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Meanwhile, Zach Johnson for the Knights has gotten better as he's gone along. He's retired 7 straight. Struck out the side in the top of this 5th inning. The 1-1 pitch to Tyler Quinn, low for ball 2, 2-1. Delaney now completely engulfed in the shadows. Not much sunshine left on the field. A patch of it in center for Kyler Stancato. The pitch high to Quinn, ball 3, and little slivers out in left and right field. 3 balls and a strike with 2 down, nobody on, bottom of the 5th. The pitch to Tyler hits him. So that's neither a single or a double, but it is Tyler Quinn getting on base with 2 down. Ethan Hedges will come to the plate. And it's, again, the Knights with 2 down and a good runner in Tyler Quinn at first base, likely to be looking to try to move into scoring position. Tyler is 7 for 8 in steals. The pitching coach, Brian Grant, out for a visit with Carter Delaney. The Pickles do have some activity in the bullpen. Both a left-hander and a right-hander getting ready behind Delaney. Coach Grant talking things over with Carter Delaney, who came on for Ian Umlaut, I should say. At least that's what we were told. Bobby Merwin, the public address announcer. I've always called Ian Umlaut, but we were told that it's actually technically Umlaut. Anyway, Umlaut touched for runs in each of the first, second, and third innings. Carter Delaney came on last inning. Got the final out of the 4th. 2 quick outs in the 5th. But hits Tyler Quinn and now deals with Ethan Hedges, who has been aboard on an error and had a sacrifice fly. A throw to first, and Tyler Quinn just did get back. Tyler was indeed leaning and looking to pick up that extra 90 feet and was leaning the wrong way when the throw came over. Another throw to first, and Tyler back to the bag. 105 tomorrow. It will be considerably cooler tomorrow, about 10 degrees so, in the mid to upper 80s. The pitch pops off the mitt of Blake Haraki. Haraki runs into Billy Yeager, trying to get to the baseball, and on the wild pitch down to second base goes Quinn. The Knights have scored. As I mentioned, they scored in each of the first 3 innings. They had a man in scoring position last inning, and here they are again in the 5th. With a man at second and 2 down, Hedges trying to get him home. 1-0 to Ethan. Delaney delivers very high and inside. Ball 2, 2-0. Delaney has not given up an earned run in the summer of 23, but the Knights can change that here. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch on the way to Hedges, breaking ball strike, and the count 2-1. Sam Stem on deck. The homestand continuing throughout next week. Kelowna in town, a non-league game Monday, and then Kelowna in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The pitch to Hedges, foul back, and the count 2-2. Then the Knights head up to beautiful Walla Walla. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-0 Corvallis. Carter Delaney stepping back of the rubber, looking at both umpires. Kind of confused, I'm not sure about what. The count? Mark Magdaleno comes out of the Knights dugout, and Delaney has been told to tuck his socks, pull up his pants a little bit, get his socks a little bit more properly coiffed. I'm not sure what in the heck the base umpire, who espied something amiss in the attire of the right-hander Carter Delaney, made him kind of clean things up a bit, do a little housekeeping out on the hill. Delaney didn't seem thrilled by the request, but now he's ready to go again. Kicks and comes 2-2, throws one in the turf. And holding at second base, Tyler Quinn, with the count going full to 3-2. It was a very slight adjustment on both pants legs for Delaney, but apparently he's all according to Hoyley now. The 3-2 pitch, down and away, ball 4. Now there is a left-hander loosening in the Pickles pen, and the left-hand hitting Sam Stem is coming to the plate, and Mark Magdaleno looks as though he's going to match up with Sam Stem. Sam homered last night, is 0 for 2 tonight, but Mark Magdaleno will go to the bullpen. He's had a righty and a left-hander loosening, and I assume this will be the southpaw coming in. We'll take a 2-minute pitching change break. Back in 2 minutes, the Knights 3 and the Portland Pickles nothing in the bottom of the 5th. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream. And 1240 Joe Radio. Jared Villalobos is the new pitcher for the Portland Pickles in the bottom of the 5th inning, with the Knights leading Portland 3-0. Mark Magdaleno matching up, bringing in the lefty to face Sam Stem, the Knights' home run leader and RBI leader. With 2 on and 2 out, 3-0 Knights in the bottom of the 5th. Villalobos to the plate and delivers a first pitch strike to Sam Stem. It is a true honor to have met for the first time tonight a gentleman who joins me up here in our little broadcast perch adjacent to the McGrath family press box here on campus in Corvallis. None other than John Jaha, one of the American League's fearsome sluggers in the 90s. The pitch on the way to Sam Stem pulled foul and down in the right field corner. 0-2, his son Jackson playing at Oregon and for the Pickles. John, it's an honor to meet you. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Thanks for being here. Want to get a little bit of your story of perseverance. It's a fantastic one in terms of, you know, getting your opportunity out of David Douglas, signing out of high school, and then working to get to the highest level of the game. The strike 2 pitch to Stem misses high. 1-2 the count. As I see you here on campus at Oregon State, and as I see Jackson playing college ball at Oregon, did you weigh coming to college? I'm sure you were recruited by Jack Riley here.
Yeah, a little bit. In those days, you know, Oregon State and Oregon didn't have a team, so I didn't get recruited too much. Portland State, and then I got recruited by Arizona and Oklahoma State. So I was planning on going to Oklahoma State. So I kind of just didn't get a chance really to get down here and meet Coach Riley and stuff. So I never thought about too much.
College baseball was a little different then. Not as big of a stage as we seem to have now. Right?
Well, thanks to Case and the guys here to put Oregon on the map.
1-2 the count to Stem. Villalobos delivers a pop-up into shallow center field. Stancato didn't get a good read on it, but now he finds it, moves in to make the catch to retire the side. We'll continue the conversation a little bit with John Jaha. The pressure's off for John tonight in that Jackson's not in the lineup right now anyway. So I look forward to a little bit more of John Jaha's amazing story and rise to stardom in the major leagues out of David Douglas High School. At the end of 5, it remains the Knights 3 and the Pickles nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 6th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, 3-0 Knights. Zach Johnson has really hit a groove. His first pitch to Kyler Stancato, a high pop-up. Shortstop Phoenix calls and makes the catch, and there's one away and one pitch. And now Zach goes to work on Zage Lancaster. Starts him with a breaking ball strike. 0-1 the count, 1 out, nobody on. 3-0 Knights in the 6th. Mike Parker, honored to be joined here in our broadcast locale by John Jaha. The strike 1 pitch, high and inside. 1-1 the count. You played all 3 sports at David Douglas. That was a time where, you know, you mentioned Pat Casey. I know he did. Tim Casey, who you played with, Pat's brother probably did too. Pitch is hit foul into Urchin Alley just to our right. Did Jackson? I mean, are you a believer in multiple sports?
Yeah, for sure. And Jackson played all 3 sports.
Okay.
Because of COVID, started to miss a few of the sports at the end, but he was a 3-sport guy.
The 1-2 pitch from Zach Johnson, breaking ball just outside. The count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. For Jackson to play at the University of Oregon, coming out of Clackamas High School, where was his situation. Every situation's different, but the 2-2 pitch hit slowly towards the shortstop. Phoenix call, charges, and not able to get the ball out of his glove. It looked as though he was trying to get in position to throw before he'd secured possession of the ball, and that'll be an error on call. So what is Jackson's story and his journey to Oregon out of high school?
It's been quite a journey because of some of the COVID stuff that happened there. It was the up and down high school career in all 3 sports because he didn't get to finish it out, but he started getting recruited by Oregon his junior year, and he decided that's where I wanted to go. And he likes Waz over there, and he signed pretty quickly with him.
The pitch on the way to Dalton Mayshore, 0-1 the count. And we have a great deal of respect. I know it's a fierce rivalry, the rivalry series in baseball. But Pat Casey's success here kind of was a motivator, a spur to get the program going again. A line drive to right field for a base hit. Sam Stem throws the ball back into Phoenix Kolb. Into second base goes Age Lancaster. Dalton Mayshore, an opposite field single. Jesse Pierce, the batter. 3-0 Knights in the 6th, but the Pickles showing some signs of life against Zach Johnson with the error perhaps opening that door. 1 away, 2 on as big Jesse Pierce steps in. For you, growing up and graduating, what year did you graduate high school? About 84?
84, yep.
84. To see what baseball has become here and what Pat Casey has done. The pitch gets through. Tyler Howard to the backstop, a wild pitch, and this game has a chance to tighten up in a big way here in a moment. 1-0 the count. What kind of thoughts does that give you, knowing Pat a little bit, the competitor he is, and what he's done in this program?
Just love the guy. When you talk Oregon baseball, you talk Pat Casey. He's put us on the map. The kids now are staying in state, instead of going to, like my own story was I was going to go to Oklahoma State to play.
Right. Ground ball to short. Phoenix call, looks it in, throws across for the out on the play. Coming down the line to score is Age Lancaster. It's now the Knights 3 and the Pickles 1. Dalton Mayshore advances to third. Jesse Pierce with the RBI ground out. 2 down. And Jack Metcho, the hitter. And, certainly the success of both programs now. I mean, Oregon was this close again to going to Omaha. Pat took the team 6 times and came back with the hardware 3 times. Yeah. It's amazing when you think about it. It must be amazing for you, a kid who grew up in the state, to think that could happen here.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's a story that, you can't say enough about how much Pat has done for baseball in Oregon. I just keep saying it. Yeah. And it gives these kids a dream now that they can play at this D1 level, and this atmosphere here is unbelievable.
Metro takes low and away, ball 2-0. Before we let you go here tonight, really appreciate you taking a few minutes of your time. I also want to learn about people who have become great friends of mine here through the summers, watching their son Sean Weiss play, Casey and Amy. I want to get your thoughts about them too. But your own story is pretty amazing in terms of staying with it and grinding through the minor leagues to finally achieve the lifelong dream. Good breaking ball on the 2-1 pitch from Zach Johnson to even the count to Metro at 2-2, 2 down. Dalton Mayshore at third, 3-1 Knights in the 6th. So I may ask you to hang on through the next half inning if we can as well, as Johnson tries to get through the 6th inning. Fastball foul back. But you did hang in about, 7 or 8 years in the minor leagues?
Yeah, about 8 years, yeah. It was quite a ride. In those days, it was a lot different than it is now. Long bus trips and not much money. $600 a month, I think, was my pay, and you had to love it.
Was there a point ever, like, okay, I'm done with this? The pitch on the way, high and inside, and the count goes full to 3-2.
In those days, I knew nothing about baseball. I loved baseball so much. I wasn't really playing for the major leagues or money, so I just kind of stuck it out because I didn't know what else I could do.
I appreciate that. Yeah. The 3-2 pitch, breaking ball. Ooh. Yeah, right? Just missed, and that's a tight zone, isn't it?
That was tight. That was a good pitch.
Breaking ball taken for ball 4. Metro survives, taking a 3-2 slider that appeared to catch a lot of the plate, and that brings to the plate Armando Briseño with runners at the corners, 2 down. And Bo Kearns will go out and visit a little bit with Zach Johnson. I think when you make your out pitch and don't get it, that can get you a little off your game. So a good visit right now by pitching coach Bo Kearns, I would think.
Yeah, I think so. I think, and Zach Johnson, one of my old players.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I coached with Kevin Gunderson, so I know Zach well, and he gets a little fiery when he throws a strike like that and a good pitch, and he doesn't get it. So good to go out there and get him relaxed a little bit.
So you were telling me that through Kevin, one of the greats of all time, what a legend Kevin Gunderson is, and you've coached with him in Gunderson baseball. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so that's how you got to know this great family over here, Casey and Amy Weiss and their son Sean. Huh?
Yep. We got to know each other through Kevin there. They were working out at the same times in his facilities and got to know him there. And then they it's funny, the first time they faced each other, I think, was yesterday. All the years we've known them. And
Sean won that battle.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, Casey made sure I was going to ask you about that. So I have. But
he got him.
They'll meet again, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But Bo Kearns heads back. Runners at first and third, 2 down, visiting with John Jaha, Jackson's dad, and a major leaguer of great distinction, grinding through 8 years before the call came. But then you had amazing years in the big leagues to hit 34 homers with the Brewers, 35 with Oakland, 100 RBI years. You figured something out, John, along the way, and that's to your credit. And I'm wondering if you could, here in a moment, share a little bit about kind of what the turnaround and how you got there. The pitch to Brasinho hit foul off the Omaha room, 0-1 the count.
Well, coming out of high school, it really took me 4 years to really learn how to hit with a wood bat, pro baseball. It took me a while, and I finally figured it out, and then I tore my ACL in 1990, so it kind of put me back a year or two. So that made the journey a little bit longer. Strike one
pitch from Zach Johnson down and away, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, but I tell Jackson that, I mean, you got a long ways to go at 19, 20 years old. I did not learn how to hit at that level until I was really 23 years old. It took me that long.
Was there a person? Was there just studying? I mean, working at self-taught in a sense, a 1-1 breaking ball down and in? I mean, can you point to a person and say, so-and-so help me get there?
Yeah, there's some good hitting coaches on the way up, but in pro ball, you're kind of on your own a little bit. You got to perform, and they, or the next guy's going in. So they don't have a whole lot of time to sit there and wait for you. So
a 2-1 pitch, breaking ball, stroke to left field, base hit, and not getting the out pitch when he thought he had it. Zach Johnson now sees Armando Brasinho stroke a single to left field, and the Pickles draw within a run with Dalton Mayshore coming in to score. Metro stops at second, and that's going to do it for the right-hander Zach Johnson. Brooke Knight will go to the bullpen. We'll keep things here during this pitching change and then wrap up the conversation with John Jaha, who we really appreciate dropping by here in a few minutes of visiting. So for you, yeah, I mean, there's good coaches who work on your swing, but you felt like you had to teach yourself. Do you feel like with the advent of the baseball academies, what you're doing now, great outing for Zach Johnson as he comes out and gets a nice, well-deserved round of applause from this excellent baseball crowd here. Zach did pitch well tonight, didn't he?
He pitched great. Yeah, he pitched really good.
We hope to get to him tomorrow. Is there more instruction now? I mean, do you feel like there's more tools available through what you, Gundy, and many others are doing to help teach the game?
For sure, no doubt about it. These kids are so much better than we were. Just the teaching they're getting. The first time I used a wood bat was when I got to pro baseball. I didn't even know, and these guys are using wood bats now all the time, and just the coaching they're getting is unbelievable at 13, 14, 15 years old. So they're definitely ahead of the game. It took me longer, so 23. I mean, I think some of these guys are hitting those strides at 18, 19, 20 because they got so much better coaching now.
Jonathan Stone is the new pitcher for the Knights. It's tightened up here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, a one-run affair, 3-2 Knights. John, I did say, and with that excellent coaching and teaching and the opportunity to learn the craft of the game, no doubt it's, quote, better. But last night I was talking about with all of the organization and there's a little less of probably you and the guys showing up at the high school field to play 500 or hit ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are we missing anything at all with the organized nature of things in terms of guys kind of learning freelance on their own?
Yeah, for sure. I'm an old school guy, so yeah, I think about that all the time. It's a different game. It definitely is. We were all about instincts, just going out there, like you said, playing double or nothing at the park and doing all that stuff. We just learned everything on our own like that. Kids are a little more robotic now because they're being taught so many mechanical things. It could affect them negatively in some ways. So I think overcoaching at times is a problem in our baseball nowadays.
And any worries at all? You say Jackson plays other sports, so did you have that a little concern? You want to make sure that you don't get burned out on one thing and one thing only.
Yeah, absolutely. I think playing at least 2 sports. I mean, 3 is great, but again, nowadays one sport's the thing because they're playing year round. That probably is not the best thing for these kids either. So there's some negative stuff going on nowadays, but
all in all, though.
All in all, yeah.
All in all, the kids are ahead.
They are. They are.
Yeah.
They're just.
I got you. I just was kind of glad to hear some old school in you a little bit too, and I also want to ask you about Brooks Robinson, who I've run his name by a couple of guys here this year. Tyler Quinn, the Knights' third baseman, who made a Robinson-like play last night.
Yeah, I saw that.
Diving.
Yeah.
Great play. Evan Cloyd takes a pitch from Jonathan Stone for a strike as we resume action. Jonathan handed the ball in a tough situation. 3-2 Knights trying to protect that lead. The strike one pitch misses outside. A Beaver player, Mikey Kane, made some good plays this year during the Beaver games I called. I invoked Brooksy's name and then said to Mikey Kane this spring, hey, you reminded me of Brooks Robinson. And he just stared at me like, who? What? The 1-1 pitch, a ground ball slowly on cue to Tyler Quinn. Up with it, throws to first, dug out by Ethan Hedges, and the inning is over. I'll ask you before we take a break a little bit about baseball knowledge and history and all of that. Would your son Jackson, if I said Brooks Robinson to him, would he know who I'm talking about?
He would. He's been around me a lot, so he knows some of the older guys.
Who was the best third baseman you saw play? I mean, any people that just made dazzling picks.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Brooks was. I mean, but Nettles with the Yankees. I was a big Dodger fan in those days. I loved Ron Say. But, that's a good question there. There were some great third basemen back. Mike Schmidt, I loved to watch.
I've talked about Schmitty a little bit too. But
George Brett.
And George Brett. Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
John, it is great to meet you and talk to you. I'll let you get back to enjoying your time with the Weises here and hanging out at the ballpark. But I hope we can do it again down the road someday. I really appreciate meeting you. Thanks for taking time here tonight.
Thanks, Mike.
John Jaha, my guest. The Pickles score 2 to tighten things up. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Corvallis. We'll take a 60-second break. 60 seconds on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 6th inning, Tate Shamau, first ball swinging, a ground ball to short. Metro fields and throws to first just in time. A good job by Tate getting down the line in a hurry. Metro getting Tate by half a step. One away, Jared Villalobos retiring his second straight hitter. He got Sam Stem to end the 5th inning. And now Shamau on the first pitch of the 6th is retired. Levi Jones the batter. Villalobos to the plate. And on the second pitch of the inning, a pop-up to Metro at shortstop, and Metro puts that away. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Ethan Hott the batter. And Ethan will certainly be coming to the plate to take a pitch. A real pleasure to get to meet John Jaha. He's sitting alongside Casey and Amy Weiss, They're longtime friends, and John was kind enough to come over and reflect a little bit on his amazing journey. About 8 years in the minor leagues and then rising up to all-star status, a couple of 30-plus and 100-plus RBI years in the major leagues, a comeback player of the year award with Oakland in '99. The strike one pitch to Ethan misses down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike, and in the old-fashioned way of our local show in the Mid-Valley, which will resume in late August, the Joe Beaver Show, 1240 Joe Radio. Get that fella's number, get that fella's number. I've gotten John's number, and we'll hope to have John on the Joe Beaver Show down the road for further conversation. The 2-1 pitch to Ethan, a fly ball to left, right at Jesse Pierce. Jesse puts it away, and that is as simple and easy an inning as we've seen a Pickles pitcher have in the series. Second game of the series, the Knights won last night and are trying to hang on tonight. We go to the 7th. The Knights go in order. After 6, the Knights 3, Portland 2 on the Knights live stream. Back to 90 on 1240 Joe Radio. Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Corvallis Knights 3 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. The Portland Pickles 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Jonathan Stone into the ball game, ready to go. And the first pitch to the left-hand hitting pinch hitter, a fly ball to left field. The Pickles appeared as though they brought in a pinch hitter for Blake Haraki, and I will present that name here in a moment. The left-handed hitter swings, and it's a fly ball. It's Andrew McKenna, and he swings at the first pitch from Jonathan. Flies out to Levi Jones in left. 1 away in the top of the 7th. Coming to the plate for the Pickles is another pinch hitter. Back-to-back pinch hitters, with Andrew McKenna flying out. Now Draven Nushida, who pinch hit last night, hitting for Jackson Waller. First pitch in there for a strike from Jonathan Stone. 1 ball and no strike, or no balls and 1 strike, and the 0-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. Mark Magdaleno going with back-to-back pinch hitters. McKenna flying out. Nishida down in the count 0-2. Big Jonathan comes to the plate with a strike 2 pitch, and it runs down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stone 6'7", 225 out of Roseburg, competing at George Fox. Jonathan having a good summer. The right-hander kicks and comes with a 2-1 pitch. It's lined into center field, base hit. Ethan Hott plays it on a couple of hops, and the Pickles have the tying run on base with a pinch hit base hit for Draven Nushida here in the top of the 7th inning. A couple of unearned runs last inning against Zach Johnson. So Zach, in his strong outing, goes 5 2/3 with none earned. Kyler Stancato, the hitter, swings at Jonathan's first pitch, doesn't get it. 0-1 the count. Jonathan making his 8th appearance, 9 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned, 9 walks and 4 strikeouts. The big righty with a count of no balls and 1 strike on the left-hand hitting Stancato. Jonathan to the plate, a ground ball toward shortstop. Phoenix calls, steps on second for 1, throws to first, double play, and the inning is over. Good stretch by Ethan Hedges at first, and it's a quick 7th for the Portland Pickles, with right-hander Jonathan Stone facing the minimum. This crowd will rise for the 7th inning stretch on this warm, pleasant Saturday night in the Mid-Valley. After 6 1/2, the Knights 3, the Pickles 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Knights leading the Pickles by a score of 3-2. Some defensive changes for the Pickles. In fact, a brand new battery. Caden Riccomini, a right-hander, loosening up with catcher Andrew McKenna. Jesse Pierce has moved to third base from left field, and trying to get a read on the number of the new left fielder for the Pickles. And it appears as though it's number 36 out and left. And I believe that would be Draven Nushida. Brooke Knight is going to make a move of his own and bring in a pinch hitter for Tyler Howard. Anson Arrows will lead things off for the Knights in the bottom of the 7th. With the Knights leading 3-2. Howard had walked and lined out. Caden Riccomini, 6'2", 200-pounder out of UC Davis and from Mount Shasta, California. And he would scoff at the notion, thus, being from Mount Shasta, that today was hot. It was, for our standards, 96 degrees. Now, Mount Shasta isn't Reading or Red Bluff or Anderson, but I'm sure it's awfully hot today at Mount Shasta. The pitch to Anson Arrows from Caden Riccomini. Swung on and missed. Bottom of the 7th, 3-2 Knights. Caden works out of the stretch, comes to the plate. Anson takes strike 2. 0-2 the count. Evan Cloyd at first, Armando Briseño at second, Jack Metro at short, Jesse Pierce in left, Draven Nishida, at third base. Out of the stretch comes Riccomini and misses high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Nishida now in left field, Kyler Stancato in center, Zage Lancaster in right. 3-2 Knights. Bottom of the 7th inning. The pitch to Arrows, hook foul into the lower grandstand below the Jack Riley concourse. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Arrows swings and fouls it back to keep the at-bat alive. 1-2 the count to Anson. Pinch hitting here for Tyler Howard. Hitting .211 with a homer and 9 runs batted in through 14 games. Riccomini making his 6th appearance for the Pickles. He's worked 4 2/3 innings. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Arrows pulls that one foul in front of the Pickles dugout. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. The First Alternative Co-op is your community-owned grocery store, providing fresh, local, and organic groceries since Brooks Robinson's heyday, 1970. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3, 1 away. First Alternative Co-op makes it easy for you and your family to buy local and eat healthy. Don't forget to stop by their deli at the First Alternative Co-op. Enjoy fresh brewed coffee, house-made pastries, a delicious salad bar, and much more. Everyone is welcome to enjoy the great stuff at the First Alternative Co-op. Phoenix called the hitter. Phoenix takes high and away from Riccomini. Ball 1, 1-0. Phoenix has grounded to second and flied to right field. 3-2 Knights. Bottom of the 7th. The Knights trying to win their 5th in a row. The pitch to Phoenix, a strike, and the count 1-1. The series concludes tomorrow at 1:05. We'll be on the air at 12:50. Non-league game on Monday. Kelowna here. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Good breaking ball in there for a strike from Riccomini. And he's ahead of Phoenix. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 7th inning. I believe Paul Blackburn is listening to the Mariners game tonight right below me. Detroit had a no-hitter through 6. I'll see if there's any update on that. The 1-2 pitch missing down and away. Ball 2, 2-2. Riccomini, the 4th pitcher of the evening for the Pickles. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Phoenix call. In the twilight at Goss, breaking ball grounded into left field, base hit by the diving Jesse Pierce. Nishida gets the ball back in. A 1-out single for Phoenix, and that brings Blake Avila to the plate. Blake 0 for 3 is struck out in his last 2 at-bats. Looking down into the Portland Pickles bullpen, there is a left-hander throwing back of Caden Riccomini. Phoenix call held on by Evan Cloyd. The first pitch to Blake misses for ball 1, 1-0. Call, a very athletic player. Good speed. He's 3 for 6 in stolen bases. 1 ball and no strikes. Bottom of the 7th, 3-2 Knights. Riccomini from the stretch. The right-hander back to the plate. Avila takes down and away. Ball 2, 2-0. Brook Knight going through the signs in the third base box. Ed Nags looking on over at first. Phoenix call a one-out single. Getting his lead, a protective mitten on, draws a throw and dives back. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Meanwhile to Blake Avila with Tyler Quinn on deck. The Knights scored single runs in the first, second, and third innings, have gone scoreless in each of the last 3. The pitch to Avila, slicing fly ball to left field. Nishida on the move in fair territory just before crossing the line, reaches up to make the catch, and there are 2 down. Tyler Quinn, the batter. Quinn still with an outside shot at the cycle, in that he has half of it in the books, a homer and a triple. Hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance. Now stands in with the right-hander Caden Riccomini to the plate. First pitch breaking ball a little bit high, ball 1, 1-0. Steve Kimmel wandering down, perhaps to inquire of Paul Blackburn. Did the Tigers finish off that no-hitter? No, they didn't. Okay, thank you, Amy. Amy Wee says no, they didn't. But the Tigers won. Bottom of the 8th, 6-0. Okay. A throw to first base, and back to the bag goes Phoenix call. The Mariners a little disappointing start to the second half, losing last night, being shut out tonight in the 8th inning at home. The 1-0 pitch away, ball 2. There was a hope that the All-Star game, the momentum generated by that, Julio Rodriguez's performance in the home run derby, the game being played in Seattle, all the goodwill generated up north during the All-Star festivities, with the Mariners coming out of the gate and falling in back-to-back games unless they can rally miraculously late tonight. The 2-0 pitch, a strike to Tyler Quinn, 2-1 the count. Phoenix call getting his lead, a good action count here. The 4 and 6 hole wide open to Tyler to get the single in his bid for the cycle. He takes the 2-1 pitch for a strike, and the count 2-2. The middle infielders certainly pinching towards the bag, playing Tyler to go up the middle. But plenty of room in both the 6 and 4 holes for Quinn. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3-2 Knights in the 7th. Call goes. The pitch is outside. No throw. And Phoenix call picks up the stolen base. And another contribution made through the combined efforts of All Pro Property Services and Papay Material Handling to Community Outreach, Inc. 3-2 to Quinn. The pitch to Tyler, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Call left at second base. The inning is over. The Pickles have tightened things up considerably. It's a 1-run affair as we go to the 8th inning. It remains the Knights 3 and the Pickles 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Jonathan Stone ready to go to Zage Lancaster, top of the 8th inning, 3-2 Knights leading the Pickles. Zage takes Jonathan's fastball high, 1-0 the count. Zage hit a ball that was mishandled by Phoenix Call in the 6th inning that led to 2 unearned runs, the only runs of the game for the Pickles. Lancaster lifts one to left field here. Levi Jones moving over and back, the wind carrying it a little bit towards the alley. Jones stays with it to make the catch. A routine fly ball to left center, but the wind did keep pushing it. Got up there into it, blowing out towards left center. But Levi stays with it for the out, 1 away. Lancaster has also gotten a base hit and fouled out. Now Dalton Mayshore, the hitter, has struck out twice and singled to right. 3-2 Knights, top of the 8th. Stone to the plate. The first pitch misses to Dalton inside, ball 1. Out of Eagle, Idaho, and St. Mary's College. Transfer from Los Medanos College to St. Mary's. Takes a fastball for a strike. And the count 1-1. The Knights have stopped scoring. They had a run in the first, a run in the second, a run in the third, but 4 consecutive zeros now. Breaking ball is lifted to right field and playable for Sam Stem. Sam moves over a few steps in fair territory to grab it. 2 down in the top of the 8th. Jesse Pierce will be the hitter. Jesse has struck out looking, grounded to second, and had an RBI ground out. 3-2 Knights, top of the 8th inning. Jonathan Stone, the big righty to the plate. Fastball ties up Pierce, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. Jonathan back to the plate. The strike 1 slider misses. 1 ball and 1 strike to the right-hand hitting Jesse Pierce. With 2 outs, nobody on, a 1-run affair in the top of the 8th. The 1-1 fastball, a ground ball to the left of Phoenix Call. From behind the bag, throws a 1-hopper that Ethan Hedges digs out, and the inning is over. Nice job by Ethan. A 1-2-3 inning for Jonathan Stone. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning on this Illyrica Internet Cap Night at the ballpark. The Knights 3 and the Pickles 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Casey Lavin operating the live stream tonight. Tells me that he thinks the new pitcher for the Portland Pickles may be an absolute character. I don't know if Mark Fidrichian, who says all the young people, they all say it at the same time. The Bird, Mark Fidrich. Anybody ever heard of him? Well, I'm not sure, but he does. I'm not sure what Casey's argument is in terms of perhaps character nature of Zach Elsos. He just seems to be warming up, drops down by way of third a little bit, but he's not been talking to the baseball or doing anything along those histrionic lines. But there's something about the way he's been warming up and the approach that has garnered the attention of Casey Lavin as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Paul, is there something you want to tell me? Or you just, oh, okay. Good to see you too. Okay. Ethan Hedges will lead things off. Ethan will be followed by Sam Stem and then Tate Shamau on this beautiful summer night. 1,744 in attendance, 1,744 as we're all enjoying catching the day's last slow goodbye from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on this Saturday night. Fastball from the sidearming right-hander Zach Elsos misses inside, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Elsos 6'4", 195. He's from Swauk and Jimmy Anderson country in Hoquiam, Washington. The pitch in there for a strike. Now, Squim, I know it's Squim. Hoquiam or Hoquiam? Jimmy, Fifi. The 1-1 pitch from Swauk, the right-hander from Southwestern Oregon Community College in Coos Bay, in there for a strike. I may have to ask Paul himself, Mr. Blackburn below, the proper pronunciation. Hoquiam. The 1-2 pitch, I think it may be Hoquiam, and I get a little bit confused when I get to Squim and see those cues. So that's something I'll work on. If you know the proper pronunciation and know my number, please text me the proper pronunciation of the town from which this young man, Zach Elsos, hails, and Jimmy Anderson, too. Dominic? The 2-2 pitch, fastball, taken. Strike 3 call by Ethan Hedges. Ethan walks away, looking over his left shoulder, none too pleased by being rung up on that pitch. 1 away in the bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Knights. Sam Stem, the hitter. Sam has flied to right, grounded out, and popped out. Elsos delivers and misses up and away, ball 1. Zach's 5th appearance, 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 4 strikeouts, an ERA of 2.25. He has 3 saves to lead the Pickles. Drops down and delivers by way of third base. High and away, ball 2 to Stem. Tate Shamau on deck, 3-2 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. Sam takes a strike, and the count 2-1. Not sure how Brooke Knight, Coach Yoon, and Bo Kearns will go about it in the top of the 9th inning. Jonathan Stone has pitched extremely well. Whether he'll get a chance to finish it, we'll see. Mecho, Briseño, and Cloyd, the scheduled hitters. Stem sprays 1 foul, Waldo away to the left and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sam, who homered last night, a team leading 3 homers in the summer of 23. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. 3-2 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. Elsos ready, delivers, high and away, ball 3, 3-2. Tate Shamau waiting his turn. We highly recommend All Pro Property Services if you own a property and need it to be cleaned. Swinging bunt. This should be a base hit up along third. The throw to first not in time. Jesse Pierce was swung way over to his left, and Stem with a great speed beats out the little dribbler up along third using his speed. A swinging bunt base hit for Stem, and the batter will be Tate Shamau. Family-owned All Pro Property Services have helped thousands of companies, investors, homeowners get the best out of their properties. From investment renovations, facility services, housekeeping, and move-out cleans, All Pro Property Services has the bases covered. Please visit allproproperty.net for more information. Shamau takes a strike from Elsos, 0-1 the count. A one-run affair, bottom of the 8th inning. The Knights would dearly love to push another one across. Pickles' pitching has been excellent since that string of runs through the first 3 innings. A run in the first, a run in the second, a run in the third. None since here in the bottom of the 8th. An 0-2 count to Tate Shamau with Levi Jones on deck. Sam Stem, a good runner, held on by Evan Cloyd. Elso steps back of the rubber and bluffs a throw to first. No balls and 2 strikes. Elso's working on the right hand, hitting Shamau. Zach to the plate and nearly hit Tate. Fastball coming in under the hands, spinning Shamau around a bit. Now the count 1-2. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Knights. 2 runs, 5 hits for Portland. There goes Stem. The pitch goes off the mitt of Andrew McKenna. Sam slid into second base, so he had no shot of taking a turn and perhaps considering going to third on that wild one. Sam does pick up the stolen base. The count, meanwhile, to Shamau, 2 balls and 2 strikes. With 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, the Knights with a couple of shots to get a big bit of insurance to take with them to the 9th inning. The 2-2 pitch swung on and fouled back. Shamau gets a piece to hang in. 1:05 tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you at the ballpark. Linfield University Day. Non-league game on Monday, and then Kelowna in for 3. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before a trip to Walla Walla. The pitch to Shamau hits Tate. Tate will trot down to first. 3rd time he's been hit in the series. Levi Jones will be the batter with 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. The Knights trying to add to their 3-2 lead. We'll have another bingo night coming up on Monday. Pitching coach Brian Grant out to visit with Elsos. Bingo night on Monday. Hanson Insurance Group night on Tuesday. AAA night on Wednesday. And Military Appreciation night next Thursday to close out the 7-game homestand. I'm going to ask Paul a question here with Brian Grant out, since you're turning and looking at me. This pitcher, Zach Elsos, his hometown is it Hoquiam or Hoquiam? Hoquiam. Thank you, Paul. The well-traveled Paul Blackburn confirms that it is Hoquiam. Jimmy Anderson also from Hoquiam. And so the Pride of Hoquiam receives a visit from Brian Grant, a good basketball name to go along with our own Jimmy. Thank you, Paul. And after the conversation, Brian Grant returns to the Pickles dugout, and Levi Jones will step in. Levi 2 for 3. Beginning to swing a potent bat. He homered last night, looking for a clutch base hit here. 3-2 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning, 2 on and 1 out. Levi takes inside from Zach, ball 1, 1-0. Sam Stem at second, Tate Shamau at first. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pleasant summer Saturday night in Corvallis. Levi takes a hack and fouls it back. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Jones. Kid who grew up in New Hampshire, loving the sport of hockey, says he misses it. Looking forward to finding out a little bit more about his upbringing in New Hampshire, where he grew up a Red Sox fan and a Boston Bruins fan. The 1-1 pitch from a guy wearing number 99 on his back. Speaking of hockey, and a pretty good 99er. Pitch missing high and away, ball 2, 2-1. George Mikan wore 99 too, didn't he? Not a bad hooper. 3-2 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. The 2-1 pitch to Levi. Fastball high, ball 3. 3-1. Ethan Hott on deck. Elsos is the closer for the Pickles with the aforementioned 3 saves. Doesn't appear to be anyone throwing back of him in the Pickles bullpen. The Knights leading 3-2, but have a good opportunity to add on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Stem at second, Shamau at first. The 3-1 pitch to Jones is down and in to load him up. Ethan Hott will be the batter. Ethan is grounded into a double play, grounded to third, and flied to left. He has a chance to get a run in with an out. The Pickles are instructed by Coach Magdaleno to pull their infield in at the corners. Evan Cloyd and Jesse Pierce just off the green. In fact, Cloyd with a step or two onto the green. The pitch to Hott is away, ball 1, 1-0. Bases loaded, 1 out, 3-2 Knights in the 8th. The Pickles at double play depth up the middle. Zach Elsos from the stretch. The 1-0 pitch, very high. Ball 2, 2-0. Andrew McKenna having to come up out of his crouch to flag that one. The Knights leading 3-2. They'd take a run in any way, shape, or form they could get it. Bases loaded. An infield single, a hit batter, and a walk with 1 out. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way, in there for a strike. And the count 2-1. Ethan Hott did not think so. Shot a quick glance back at Billy Yeager and got a little support from this Knights crowd, as always engaged with each pitch. The 2-1 offering from Elsos, outside, ball 3, 3-1. Elsos is a pitch away from walking in a run. Anson Arrows, the switch hitter, on deck. A left-hander throwing in the bullpen back of Elsos. The 3-1 pitch, a strike, and the count 3-2. So the last time I checked, there was no one throwing. Now, Brian Grant and Mark Magdaleno have a lefty loosening. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. From the stretch, Elsos ready, delivers, down and away, ball 4. That forces in a run. Sam Stem down the line to score. An RBI for Hott. The Knights lead it 4-2. Anson Arrows to the plate with the bases still loaded and 1 gone. That's a big run, even if the Knights end up with nothing else. To take it from a 1-run to a 2-run lead. Huge, obviously, here in the bottom of the 8th. But Arrows with a chance to do some big-time damage here. The pitch on the way is pulled fair down the right field line, and he's done it. Shamau scores. Levi Jones on his way to the plate. He will score. Ethan Hott pulls into third. A 2-run double for Anson Arrows. The Knights lead it 6-2. Yeah, that's a punch that certainly leaves the Pickles reeling. A 2-run double, 3 runs in the inning. The batter is Phoenix Call, and the Knights have 2 more in scoring position. Leading 6-2, the infield pulled in for the Pickles. Elsos to the plate, high and inside to Phoenix, ball 1. Ethan Hott at third, Anson Arrows at second. Sweet swing from Anson to drive in 2. The Pickles infield all in just off the edge of the green. The Knights looking to really put this thing out of reach. Another base hit would accomplish that, it would appear. The 1-0 pitch is away, ball 2, 2-0. Phoenix 1 for 3, singled in his last at-bat. 6-2 Knights, bottom of the 8th. Elsos out of the stretch, delivers on the inside corner for a strike, and the count 2-1. Blake Avila on deck. Elsos back to the plate. The 2-1 pitch up and away. Ball 3, 3-1. Avila, left-handed hitter on deck. The sense you get is if Elsos doesn't get called, and even if he does, we might see a matchup with the left-hander. The 3-1 pitch to call is outside to reload the bases. And we're about to find out Mark Magdaleno's plans with Avila coming to the plate. Bases loaded, 1 out. 6-2 Knights in the bottom of the 8th. Out to the mound goes Andrew McKenna. I think that's a precursor to Magdaleno himself coming out. With a left-hander who's been loosening here the last couple of batters behind Elsos, likely to be coming in. A long conversation between McKenna and Elsos. And we'll see now if Magdaleno, the manager, comes walking out as soon as McKenna gets back to behind the plate. And no, in that it's perhaps the idea, Coach Magdaleno may be thinking, hey, well, the horse is out of the barn now. With the Knights having scored 3 to lead it 6-2, may want to make sure he's got enough arms to salvage one of the 3 tomorrow. Doesn't match up with the left-hander against Avila. Blake takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Blake 0 for 4 with the bases full and 1 away. Hot at third, Arrows at second, Call at first. The pitch to Blake misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The Knights 3 outs away from their 5th straight win. The 1-1 pitch is a chopper towards Elsos. He looked at the plate, looked at first, comes back to first for the out. Should have come to the plate for a force. He had plenty of time to. But he does get the out on Avila, but Blake picks up the RBI. But that was a play, again, with the game kind of slipping away. He probably needed to come to the plate and get a force. Ethan Hott scores a 4-run inning. The Knights lead it 7-2. Tyler Quinn, the batter. Tyler takes high, ball 1, 1-0. The Knights now with runners at second and third. And 2 down, leading 7-2 with 4 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch to Tyler misses, ball 2, 2-0. Ethan Hedges on deck. The 2-0 pitch, fastball for a strike, and the count 2-1. Anson Arrows at third base. Phoenix Call at second. The 2-1 pitch to Tyler. Outside, ball 3. 3-1. A Pac-12 tableau playing out before us. Tyler Quinn from Utah, Arrows from Oregon. Call UCLA bound. The 3-1 pitch in there for a strike, and the count goes full to 3-2. At least one more year with regard to the kid Call out there at second for the Pac-12. The 3-2 pitch taken, strike 3 called, and the inning is over. A good night for Quinn with a homer and a triple, but he ends up getting hit by a pitch and striking out in his last 2 at-bats. The Knights get 4 to give themselves a lot of room to bring this one home. They'll have a new pitcher in as we go to the top of the 9th inning. The Knights score 4 and lead it 7-2 as we go to the top of the 9th inning on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Jonathan Stone, 2 1/3 scoreless, looked strong. And now we go to the top of the 9th inning with Branson Keel taking over to try to bring this one home. The Knights leading 7-2. Branson loosening up in a non-save situation with Anson Arrows, looking for the final 3 outs and what would be the 5th consecutive win for the Corvallis Knights. In the unaccustomed spot of trying to chase down a playoff spot in the second half rather than having already clinched it. The Knights, after losing 2 of 3 at Cowlitz, sweeping Springfield and 3 outs away from winning this series against the Portland Pickles with the finale tomorrow at 1. The first pitch from Keel, a line drive right at Ethan Hedges. 1 away in the top of the 9th. The first pitch line out off the bat of Jack Mecho. And Armando Briseño, the hitter, has grounded to short, fly to center, and had an RBI single. 7-2 Knights, both runs for the Pickles unearned. Keel to the plate. They're not waiting around. Briseño swings and fouls it at the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Keel making his 11th appearance. He and Neil Feist with the most in that category. Branson 11 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned, 5 walks, 13 strikeouts, a record of 1-0 with a save, an ERA of 1.54. Non-save situation here. The strike 1 pitch coming up to the right-hand hitting Armando Briseño. The count now 1-1 to Armando. Branson Keel looking for the final 2 outs in this one. Comes over the top, good breaking ball in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. Evan Cloyd on deck. The series finale tomorrow, 1:05 with a 12:50 pregame. No balls, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Armando Briseño. Tried to check his swing, but goes around. Strike 3 swinging. 2 away. Evan Cloyd to the plate. The Knights an out away from winning another series, making it 5 straight victories. And off to a great start here in the second half. They'll be looking for a sweep again tomorrow. Evan Cloyd at the plate. Right-handed hitter has doubled, struck out, and grounded to third. Keel from the stretch. Good breaking ball, strike. 0-1 the count. Good looking slider from Branson tonight. Good command of it. 2 down, nobody on, top of the 9th. 7-2 Knights. Single runs in the first, second, and third, and then 4 in the bottom of the 8th. Fastball down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cloyd. Branson peering into Anson Arrows. Anson delivering the big hit to really create separation. Fastball missing from Keel. The count 2-1. 7 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the Knights. 2 runs, 5 hits, and error for Portland. 2-1 the count to Cloyd. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 9th inning. Branson trying to bring this one to a close on this pleasant Saturday night. Another good breaking ball in there for a strike to even the count at 2-2. 1,744 in attendance. A little bit cooler tonight than last night, but another great night to be at the ballpark. And the Knights a strike away. Branson Keel from the stretch with nobody on. The right-hander's 2-2 breaking ball fouled at the plate. A good job by Cloyd to get a little piece of it against Branson. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Alerica Internet Cap Night. Been a big success. The fans have enjoyed themselves again and trying to bring Branson Keel and the fellows home, stomping their feet on the metal bleachers, clapping their hands with another 2-2 pitch coming to Cloyd. Branson over the top and drills Cloyd in the small of the back. Evan Cloyd hit by the pitch, certainly the last thing that Branson Keel wants to do, trying to end the game, and it looked as though he was reaching back for a little something extra and elicited with the hit batsman a collective ooh from the crowd. Andrew McKenna, the hitter. Andrew, a pinch hitter in the 7th, flied out to Levi Jones in left. Top of the 9th inning, a 2-out hit batter, and now McKenna trying to keep the very flickering hopes alive for this Portland Pickles team tonight. Swings and it's a ground ball to the right of the second baseman, Shamau. He feeds Phoenix Call for the force at second, and the ball game is over. The Corvallis Knights have indeed won their 5th straight and improved to 6-2 in the second half in South Division play. 7 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error for the Knights. 2 runs, 5 hits, and error for Portland. Zach Johnson gets the win. The loss goes to the starter, Ian Umlaut. The Knights getting a home run tonight from Tyler Quinn, and a good ball game all the way around for the Knights, both on the mound defensively and enough work offensively with single runs in the first, second, and third innings. Quinn's homer and RBI in the 3rd inning on a sacrifice fly for Ethan Hedges. And the Knights picking up a run on a ground out by Ethan Hott into a double play in the 2nd, then broke it open in the 8th with 4 runs. Ansonero's a key 2-run double to provide the final score of the Knights 7 and the Portland Pickles 2. The Knights will seek a sweep tomorrow afternoon. We hope you'll join us. 12:50 airtime, a 1:05 first pitch. The Knights and Pickles in the middle of the afternoon tomorrow. Thanks to John Jaha for stopping by tonight. Our Knights live stream, the outstanding major leaguer out of David Douglas High School, a long 8-year journey from the minor leagues to get to the bigs. We enjoyed his story and hope that you enjoyed hearing a little bit of it tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 1:05 with the Knights seeking the sweep of the Portland Pickles. For Casey Lavin, for Andrew Henderson, for Thomas Rudolph, this is Mike Parker from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Again, our final score, the Knights 7 and Portland 2. See you tomorrow afternoon on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. So long, everybody.